welcome back, everybody. Today we are here doing another of Neb's Good Takes thread here on Absolutely. I'm Hassan, that's Benny, and we have Neb as a special guest today.
Happy to be back.
We thought it'd be fun that Neb can tell us the insights that were restricted by the Twitter letter count.
There's a lot more than you'd think.
Because Neb doesn't pay for Twitter Blue, so Neb can't do more than 280 characters.
Also, even people who do, nobody actually clicks to read the rest of the tweet either. There's just no point.
Yeah, there's nothing to it.
Neb's got the business hack on how to do Twitter well. If you guys have seen any of my tweets do well recently, it's because Neb has commented on them or told me what to do.
Neb, can you comment on all my tweets, please?
No, yeah, I got you. Just DM me every time.
Hey, I just tweeted something weird. Go ahead and just comment on it.
So, Neb, history-wise, you were a Titan stan. That's how you got into this industry, right? Like, relatively speaking, this is your entry.
Yeah, it was really the Flash on the CW when the pilot aired. I felt something change within me. I don't know. It was really powerful as a 14-year-old, you know. But then the Titan show had been announced the same year at some point, and I knew that that was really what I was looking forward to, because I mean, who hadn't grown up with a cartoon, right? And I hadn't checked out the comics yet, but there's always time for that. It just kind of went through a lot of development hell. It finally got the trailer in 2017, I think. I got married because of the show, which is really funny out of all shows. So yeah, and now we're here. It's gonna end in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Somehow still going.
I've actually been on the board of, I've liked every one of these seasons. I'm not saying they're the greatest piece of television, but I've enjoyed all of these seasons.
I have my limits. I have my limits.
It has its issues. As I said, it's definitely not the greatest thing I've ever watched, but I've enjoyed my whole life.
It has very unique issues I've never seen in a television show before, which honestly just makes it interesting. It wouldn't be as fun if it didn't have those extreme problems.
So starting at the top here, Neb wrote, it's going to be so much more funnier when Hassan's like, Neb!
It's not that long, I promise.
Titans was initially announced back in 2014 as a new show being developed by the TNT network. I remember thinking that was weird. Featuring the characters of Nightwing, Starfire, Raven, Oracle, Hawk, and Dove. After a long silence, TNT announced that they had passed in the project before the pilot was shot. I remember, because this is right when the hype of CW was going and being like, wait, why are we getting a TNT show? What the hell?
Yeah, it was, the CW was doing so well just how cheap everything was. And then I guess TNT was probably like, we can do that. And then they just around for a year before they announced that they scrapped it.
Huh. I honestly, I forgot that the Teen Titans show was even a thing, and that this was that Titans was a thing before it became a thing.
I want to say they developed this partially as a Nightwing show too during the time.
Yes.
It was because I remember that announcement.
Source on that, but
yeah,
you're right.
TV, it was, I mean, comics near deal for Nightwing TV pilot.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess I did find a source for it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, guys, I remember this stuff too. I was a little nerd watching
Think of it.
In 2017, Titans was announced to be back in development for the upcoming DC Universe streaming service. Later that year, first look at Brenton Thwaites as Robin, Alan Ritchson as Hawk, and Minka Kelly as Dove were announced.
Yeah, so Brenton Thwaites, I saw him that summer in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie where he played Orlando Bloom's son or something.
That's who that was. I just saw a clip from that movie yesterday, and I was like, oh, why does that guy look so familiar?
He's also in Gods of Egypt. Shout out to the 17 people who have seen that.
Haven't
Gods
seen that
of
yet.
Egypt. I gotta watch.
He's had an unfortunate career. No, you don't.
But yeah, he's in that. Alan Ritchson is far more funny, entertaining, interesting to talk about his lineage. What an incredible suit when we first saw this. He was Aquaman on Smallville. He played Arthur Curry in a hilarious fashion, mind you. You guys should look up pictures of what he looked like there. He also was Raphael in the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, where he was very angry, very upset the whole time, which fed into his character of Raphael. Yeah. But that was a very tough production cycle.
You can hear him talking about that too, how bad it was.
He did a show with Collider with Roxy Stryer with who works with our friend DJ Wooldridge, and talked about it candidly that he was promised a lot of things that were not given to him, but he's had quite a career playing different superheroes and it's because he's just this physically imposing guy. Makes sense.
Now he's got a show where he's just a physically imposing what is it?
Jack Reacher or something?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's like one of those.
The most terrifying man alive in that show.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And then Minka Kelly.
I know nothing about her until this show.
I love her with this like Khaleesi wig they had. For some reason, it just worked really well for her. Last thing I heard that she did outside of this show was date Trevor Noah, and that's kind of all I heard.
She was in a few episodes of Euphoria season 2 of all
yes,
things. But
yeah, she was.
She's doing well.
Oh, she looks so different without that wig.
Yeah, it's a wig, Benny. Can you not tell it's a wig? Look back at the picture now.
Well, that one is obviously a wig, but when it was in the show, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, sure, Benny.
Yeah. Do you know she's married to Derek Jeter?
Is she now?
Apparently.
How recent? Because she was with Trevor Noah not long
Oh
ago.
no, they parted ways in 2011.
Yeah, because then she was with the Daily host Trevor Noah, and then he was just like he's the man who can do no wrong, because I think he's dating another supermodel now, and just very impressive guy.
I'm trying to think of what I'm looking for. Now I'm stuck doing this. Who is she in Euphoria? Who's Samantha?
She's just like an extra person. She doesn't have any like particularly.
Yeah, it's nothing too crazy, but she's just some rich woman in the later half of the season, I think, who just sort of mentors Cassie. God, it's been a while.
Yeah, well, Euphoria was a weird show because I had no interest in it. My wife wanted to watch it, and then like within a day or two, it was like, so we gotta watch more Euphoria because I really want to know what's gonna happen to these kids in this crazy school.
Sounds like you, Benny. Zendaya, I don't watch the show, but I've seen some of the performances. Like I watched Zendaya's like breakdown scene, and it was one of the most incredible things I've ever watched. Made me sick to my stomach.
It is worth watching. I thought it was really good.
It's absolutely worth watching.
Titans' first logo was revealed in May of 2018 during the DC Universe press event. I was there for that, actually.
Were you really?
Yeah. The logo was later changed so that the character footage would be added inside the letters during the episode intros. When they officially, this press event, they flew us out and went to the old Machinima building that they retroactively fit to have all of the DC office's stuff and make it look like a bat cave. And then he went into the back where they revealed the entire DC Universe lineup.
Was that really exciting back then? Like as a comics nerd, was it just like hyped to be in the room? Was it electric? How did it feel?
Honestly, awkward.
Awkward?
So at that point,
add that to the thread immediately.
Kind of started back up.
So basically, the event was really weird because at that point, it was me and Rob and Sal, and we were the weekly poll, and we were very prominent as the weekly poll at the time. And we had gone to a lot of these things. Like at that point, I'd been on the red carpet for Justice League and things like this.
Oh, my condolences.
Yeah. This felt like a weird step backwards because they flew us out. We're using this old building, and it was nothing against them because I'm friends with half of them, but it was all the hosts of the DC Universe Daily Show they were doing.
Yeah.
It was a weird selection of people to have picked to be on there, and then they all felt really awkward because like they're basically trying to pitch us DC Universe. It was like going to a timeshare meeting. Where they're like,
my God,
I'm not even joking. And they're just like, yeah, so if you get all of your subscribers to go to DC Universe. And it was like, what is this? What are you doing? But it was weird because it was all of your friends trying to pitch it to you. And on top of that, they were doing this weird thing where they had like this big tent with food in it and they catered the whole thing, but they were bussing us around and you weren't allowed to leave. Like you were on a weird lockdown. Rob got so irritated, he walked off. I'm not joking. This was like Rob literally just left. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna fly my girlfriend out. We're gonna go do stuff in LA. Like what?
I respect the audacity. Okay.
Jesus.
It was in the old Machinima building too. It was probably haunted. You know.
Yeah, it was a weird situation.
What interesting. I will say I prefer the old logo to the new one. I think that there's something more stylized, and I like blue. I mean, it harkens back to actual Titans versus like the brick letters. I've never been a fan of those types of like titles. Yeah, it's very, very boring.
Well, I like this one more, so whatever. This looks like some guy in the 90s got a tattoo.
You're that guy in the 90s, dude. Look at your arms.
Oh my God.
I do not have barbed wire or tribal, so
okay, sure.
All right. This is Final Fantasy. This is the Justice League. This is my Zelda leg.
Don't show us your feet, Benny.
For free?
For free. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even get that meme.
I do get that. OnlyFans feetsy thing. All right, anyway, moving on. What is even happening?
I think you missed one. It's a little bit above you.
No, I didn't. Oh, I saw the logo.
Yeah.
The infamous first trailer for Titans was released at 2018's Comic-Con. The trailer, widely mocked for the Batman line, edgy tone, and messy editing, also received intense racist backlash regarding Starfire.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's still getting intense racist backlash.
It never stopped.
It never stopped. It never stopped. The people who were angry about it for being racist never stopped being angry about it. The other people who were like, you just look bad saying this the way you're saying this right now, they stopped because Anna Diop got a much better wig in the later seasons. And like, maybe some of it is her natural hair too. And it's like weave. She looks incredible. I'm going to go ahead and say it. That is top 3 most beautiful women that have ever been in media. In
season 1, she was terrible looking, but they did fix it. I'll say that.
I thought she was still gorgeous, but the hair really upset me then. I really hated the hair then, and then
got shoe on. We're good. See?
Oh my God!
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Benny.
Honestly, I don't know if it's Stockholm syndrome, but I actually really like the Wade from season 1 now. I have such a worse perception because we were in the trenches. Like I was trying to defend that so hard, but yeah, it was rough.
God, get beyond the trailer off here. I know you're a little stand for Grace Randolph, but I can't.
Me?
No, Neb.
Really?
I hate Grace Randolph. I'll say it. I hate it. I cannot say it.
Look, I have nothing on a personal level against Grace. She's been doing this forever. My issue with Grace is just the way her speaking cadence when it comes to the videos.
It's so annoying.
Today we're going to talk about Titans.
So Titans is coming back this week with a brand new trailer.
She really developed that over time, just sort of like a news reporter, just a way of speaking. And it's just sometimes she stops, and it's really
Can you imagine doing this
fascinating.
for how many decades and still using a webcam too? I hate it.
I get for her.
Between her speaking cadence and the webcam, I know she's just from an old era. I have nothing personally against her. I've met her in person. Like I
think it's really funny that James Gunn kind of hates her. That's like my favorite thing.
Their beef is so entertaining.
He literally tweets publicly that he's like, "Enough, Grace. Enough." He's like at it.
Titan star Anna Duop disables. Oh yeah, I remember that. Everyone's freaking out about that. I always found you could tell there's a lot of racist stuff because the argument is it's the orange girl being played by a black woman, and I'm just like, I get you want her to be orange, but do you guys know how expensive that is? That's why Gar's not green all the time.
It's expensive, and also you don't want to. They're filming in either Vancouver or Toronto, right? And it's like, how much skin do you want your actors to be showing in the winter?
It's
that's
so miserable. In Arrow season 4, they gave Oliver Queen the cut-off sleeves from the comics, but it was so freezing and bitterly cold. They ended up giving him, they called it Kevlar sleeves, but new leather sleeves, and to fix the costume because he was so miserable.
The first Titans trailer, there's a shot of Beast Boy leaping off a roof, about to turn into a bird. The footage was only made it to be in the trailer and never actually intended to be in the show. Beast Boy didn't turn into a flying animal to season 3. Yeah, that was one of the only direct issues I had with season 1. I feel was a show, and even though I still liked it, I thought it was a shit show. But Beast Boy has gotten the shaft in that show since the beginning.
Ryan Potter's an incredible actor. The guy who plays him, he played Hiro Nakamura in Big Hero 6. He was the voice of the kid. And honestly, dead ringer for Tim Drake, in my opinion.
While filming Titan season 1, a fire broke out and ended up causing thousands of dollars in damage. Allegedly. This is due to the poor production planning, allegedly, and inexperienced crew members, allegedly. I like your safety net there.
I'm trying my best.
Are you allowed to tell some stories, or did that break NDA? That's incredible. That's an incredible comment.
So I can, because I never signed anything, right? So I just randomly stumbled upon this Reddit thread years ago. I had to search in the archives of a server that I'm in to even find it, and there's no record of this anywhere else that I can find at all. Like if you just search Vancouver filming studio fire or something like that, it just doesn't pop up. And then a friend of mine told me that it was actually the Batcave set that had burned down, which is why they had a different Batcave set later. I don't know the exact timeline, but yeah, they just set the whole Batcave on fire.
Nice.
Oh, you love to hear it.
Felt like teenagers staring at it. This is interesting, but okay.
Yeah.
It's all allegedly, though.
Allegedly. Who knows?
Titans season 1 finale had Batman for a few dark shots and used quickly scrapped together suits since you're not supposed to see him outside of his silhouette. Images of the suit leaked online, and some people got angry thinking it was the suit's genuine attempt. Yeah, I remember that. Everyone freaking out.
Yeah. I thought this silhouette looked beautiful.
Yeah, people freak out way too often of set photos of stuff.
They don't understand. Like, even if they had an intended bat suit, right? If that just had like a symbol on it or something, it's still, you're not supposed to really judge stuff when you're just seeing the lighting of whatever's in the studio at the time. You're supposed to see the finalized product. Even if a suit looks really good, a lot of the times is only in final. It'll look goofy regardless.
Yeah. I mean, a great example right now is Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle looked like on set. But in that trailer, it looked great.
I thought it actually looked incredible. You're the only
with that opinion.
You're literally the only guy that's.
Let me give you a different example. Then, how about Superman for Superman and Lois when everyone made fun of the fake muscles? There you go. That's a better example.
And then they cut it out. Then they cut the muscles out of the suit by season 3.
Thank God.
They actually, because he looks so much better. So much better.
The same costume designer as Titans, by the way, just for that one suit.
And the
The
boys,
original
right?
The original finale of Titan Season 1 was scrapped for unknown reasons. It featured Doom Patrol, a new look for Raven, 2 new suits for Starfire, Wonder Girl suit, Beast Boy turning into an eel, Dick becoming Nightwing, and Wally West mentioned, and a big fight against Trigon. I have an insight on this one, Neb.
Oh, okay.
So from what I heard through the grapevine, because this is back when DC was doing a lot of stuff with their content creators, the original finale was scrapped because of Season 2.
Yeah.
So the whole idea was to bridge it into to give it a season 2 and kind of make you want to come back, because DC Universe was deemed a success at the time, which is weird because I think a year later it shut down. But it was deemed a success by the higher ups in DC, and they decided that this was the biggest success, so they wanted it to go over.
It's crazy because Young Justice is also airing. Tap that group shot. I want to see that wide of everybody.
Oh, it's a really cool group shot, actually.
Wow.
They have everybody in a suit except Gar. He's just eating some chicken nuggets or something. I don't even know what that is.
That's pretty great. I love Connor Leslie as Donna Troy too. I think she was great casting, and she had a very fun
She's
energy.
incredible, right?
I like Raven. I think she does a great job as Raven.
Tegan Croft is fantastic.
Tegan Croft, that's the name.
Yeah.
It was her first role ever just on this show, and she's improved so much over time.
Oh my
and
gosh,
I thought
yes.
she was fine considering that in season 1 as well. But yeah,
This
I
is
remember
also,
really
from what I
natural.
understand, part of the decision was that at the time it was decided Doom Patrol would go in a different direction.
Yeah, that was it.
They wanted more
So,
creative
myself,
license. They recasted Chief.
Yeah.
Right. I had been told basically the finale was scrapped for what you said and then a few other reasons. And I can't say one of them just because I was asked not to.
Okay.
But, basically it was just like kind of a mess, DC. Right.
DC Universe was becoming a mess. It was like, it's a success, but we don't know what the F we're doing.
It's a
Massive
success, but
budget.
we're not going to
It's
promote
too
Young
much.
Justice, even though everybody wanted Young Justice back for 10 years.
Put 100 million, 200 million into Swamp Thing, cancel it. It was,
Oh
it
my
was a mess.
God. Put all that money to Young Justice.
The original finale for season 1, Negative Man opens a portal to Azarath, where Raven trains for 300 days to defeat Trigon. Says the Titans cast declined to appear in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, allegedly. The CW used old footage from that scene and gave it a red filter.
Yes.
So I had put that in my previous thread, but that's the actual context of what's happening in that scene. So that's why
that I
Alan
didn't
Ritchson
know.
is just smiling as he gets obliterated by the antimatter wave, I guess.
Yep.
He's
I
having a
remember
great
this
time.
shot. I thought it looked crazy. Yeah. Rosenbaum wasn't paid well for this, and neither were the Titans cast, so they all declined to come because they didn't have to.
Good for them.
All right.
Oh!
Wow, Benny, really looking up a lot of Neb.
I was like, that history's just Neb. So Neb, what you doing later? Anyway.
Whoa. I'm sorry.
Doom Patrol were introduced in the 4th episode of Titans as a backdoor pilot. The Doom Patrol was intended to take place in the same universe as the Titans, but later made it into its own thing for creative purposes, which is why the Chief was recast and the team members changed.
Was not confirmed till Crisis, by the way. They confirmed that with Crisis. Love.
Yeah, they replaced him, her, she was new, and he was put on.
Yeah. And then the Chief was different.
I just side note about Doom Patrol. I really wish they did something proper with his uniform, because it was just always him in tracksuits with like.
No, he took it off every once in a while, but yeah, you're right. I will say,
get what you mean, yeah.
as far as the practical is concerned, the body of his cyborg suit is the best by
really
a
cool,
landslide. I'll take that over Zack Snyder's whatever. I think that huge improvements to Invisible Man too. Like one looks like a Halloween costume, and one really looks like Negative Man. Sorry.
Yeah, like this one
So
doesn't look good at all.
he wasn't recast. It's the same. It was always
Same.
Matt Bomer, but they
Was
had
it?
just but they had just struggled obviously, because I mean it's probably really hard to figure out how to have like an actor just be safe and wrapped in bandages just to film like that for hours, right?
It actually wasn't his voice wasn't the guy in the suit. It was a different guy in the suit the whole time. He voiced after. My friend Abby plays Chief's daughter, and she gave some interesting little tidbits of how they were on set. And it was that Brendan Fraser also, somebody else is in the Robot Man suit, not him.
Yeah.
And but when he came on set, it was this very like, I'm so excited to be here. I love that I get to be this character. Very excitement. Matt Bomer was much more distant. Didn't particularly care what anybody else thought of him, and didn't like playing Negative Man. So just thought that was a little tidbit could add from.
He
an
played
actor on set.
Superman in like a Toyota ad at one point, I think.
What? That's incredible.
Yeah. He gets around.
Just for a fun fact, I remember when they first revealed what Negative Man looked like under the mask. Even I was like, "Holy He's good looking.
Oh yeah, Matt Bomer is gorgeous. He gets to be mean because he looks like that.
Yeah.
Also, he spends so much time in the makeup chair, and he looks better than Deadpool does when they have to show what Deadpool looks like, all the burns and everything. Like,
Yeah.
they just had a lot of production value behind Doom Patrol.
They did.
Season 1's hairstylist leaked the Wonder Girl suit, not aware it hadn't been revealed yet. She tried posting other images to show her work, which ended up being even more private photos, with cast members in replies begging her to stop. She did not work on season 2. I remember these going around. I didn't realize that's how they got out there.
Yeah. Rest
Poor
in peace,
girl.
Deborah. So
These are supposed to remain private. And then she just keeps posting them.
yeah,
Deborah, please stop releasing and leaking unapproved photos. Sincerely, thank you, all of us. Anna
I felt
Diop,
so
what
bad.
Minka Kelly said. Oh no.
Yeah, so because she just,
She's like a little old lady
she's
who
just
does
trying
hair.
to she's just trying to show her work, and that's a beautiful picture of Wonder Girl. So she had no plus she was in the season 1 finale originally, right? So she probably was just unaware of all that and posted that, and just every other photos has yeah, so she didn't work on season 2, but just I'm gonna be kind, but we did talk about Starfire season 1 weight a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's for the best, and she currently works on Superman and Lois.
Ah, so she wasn't done with work forever.
Yeah.
Just for
Nightwing and
now.
Ravager suits were leaked by some random guy stumbling on set while they were filming the finale, posting photos on Reddit. The second time the Ravager suit got leaked after the actress accidentally posted a picture from her costume fitting. I like this. The idea that just guys like, oh, click.
Yeah, there have been a lot of fake Nightwing leads going around, and it was a huge event, right? It was like the first Nightwing in live action. As like, me personally, I was really
I was
excited.
through the fucking moon for this, yeah.
Yeah, something about DC Rebirth Nightwing design specifically. I feel like it's one of the best superhero costumes ever made.
Oh,
It's just
agreed.
really cool, and this show had a lot to live up to. And then just some random dude just like was in their parking lot and just posted it on Reddit. It was great.
While testing a car flip stunt for Titan Season 2, special effects coordinator Warren Appleby was struck in the head by a piece of metal, dying from his injury shortly after. Oh,
Yeah.
I did not know that had happened.
Dark.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where to put this in the thread because it is like obviously a bit tonally different than just something normal. But it was crazy when it happened because it feels like everybody was talking about it, but nobody remembers it. And yeah, so that's why I'm not positive on this, but I think it was during episode 9 of season 2 where Superboy is out in Metropolis for the first time, and he's like he heat visions a cop car and it explodes. I think that might have been it because if you watch it in the episode, it's very awkward and it's sort of like a quick CGI thing instead. But
well, yeah, you're not going to put the scene where the guy died in it,
right? Exactly. So again, that's just what I imagine. But if you go to the GoFundMe page, it's still up, and then you can also sort through all like the top donators and everything, and there's a lot of names you'd recognize. But yeah, so then last year they had finally gotten a payout from whatever VFX company it was. So yeah,
good.
Brenton Thwaites
Thwaites
assumed he was being cast as the DCEU version of Nightwing, as there was a solo film in development at the time. That's kind of funny and sad for him at the same time.
incredibly sad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. His quote is very funny. He says there he was just imagining himself in the solo movie the whole time. But I think he's lying. That just doesn't make any sense. Like this whole thing just doesn't. I feel like he just made it up. Like it.
Just to say something.
Just to have a fun rumor.
Yeah,
or and maybe stir up drama that he could be that, and maybe fans.
Right. Like, because I doubt it was like a malicious thing, but it's like that just doesn't make any sense in the casting process. Like it's not like hiding that Spider-Man was in No Way Home, right? It's just, they would just be very upfront about it, I would think, maybe initially, but he's saying he was in the past, like after he was cast, so that just never made sense. It was funny though.
Interesting.
Director of photography Boris, get this one right, Hudson.
Majavoski.
I'm taking it.
I think it's Mayovsky.
What'd you say, Neb? What was it?
I think it's Boris Mayovsky, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is largely responsible for the show's infamous blue filter. He was once told by Anna Diop that he had to prioritize lighting the white cast members properly overheard. Oh, that he had.
He
Yeah.
told
None-
him. Yep.
Yeah. None of the 5 episodes he directed have an 8.0 rating or above on IMDb.
The blue filter was such a f***ing mistake.
Yeah.
You know what?
Here's
I
my
never
point.
caught that, but
Insight
yeah,
on this
she's
as
like
well.
gone in the blue.
You can
filter.
barely
all
see
the
her, right?
time. All the
And
time.
So I say
It never
it's
dawned on me because I'm
largely-
just watching it and just, you know what I mean? Like that. But yeah.
You're
her skin-
watching
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. She was in a recent movie named Nanny, and it's really good. I recommend everybody watches it. And she's lit so well, and I felt so bad because it was like I was seeing her for the first time, even though I've seen her in like literally just interviews, this and that.
Yeah.
It's just the show always looks like that, and
It makes me.
I
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I said it was largely responsible for that one guy, Boris, and yeah, he deserves a lot of the blame. But I had also been told by a friend of mine that basically it was also that he and some other crew members, they were a big fan of Ozark on Netflix. And if you look at that show, it's lit the exact same way the entire time. And it makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay.
It's just a horrible idea for a superhero
You
show.
guys are
and
nerds. Whoever
yeah.
lit them. Start
I
lighting
know.
shows better. Doesn't matter
And
if you like
it's-
other things.
It reminds me of the situation of that recent ad that came out with the latest phone that said it was actually going to do darker skin tones properly, so you could appear in pictures. And
Yeah.
watching that, I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that was an issue. But seeing like this,
Yeah,
yeah,
this is horrible.
that's an issue. Like that is
It's
an
a
issue.
huge issue in the industry where, as you know, you're used to tolerating like just it's a new thing for a lot of people who do lighting on these sets, and it's just instead of adjusting, they're just not, and it's just ridiculous. Like look at her in those pictures with the rest of the cast;
Yeah.
she's basically invisible. So yeah, and just recently, like on this season, they've started using a lot more warm tones, and they're the 2 episodes that just came out, they look great.
Yeah,
The
I
blue
like the
filter's still
luster.
there a few times, but it's not overbearing. So
It's kind of a yellow filter now because of what they're doing in the show.
they have the Doom Patrol filter instead.
Yeah, they do. The first episode of Titan Season 2 also functions as the actual finale for Season 1, so they used some old footage from that was scrapped finale, combined with new shots. This results in Raven having a completely different wig after she defeats Trigon.
Mm-hmm.
She just obliterates her dad and comes out with a new wig. Like,
She's like,
It's-
I
just
thought
came
it
back
was like a
from the
power-up.
salon.
Yeah, I thought it was like
I
a
mean,
power up.
it could be, but I don't think
It's a glow up, that's for sure.
It definitely is.
Well, she also aged because I remember she was
looks
only, like, 16
significantly
here.
older from
Yeah,
there
she's
to
like,
there.
well, because she's
Yeah.
like 16 right here. She's like going through puberty. So like
Actually, she was like 14 or 15.
14. That's what I'm saying. She
I
was
don't even
young
think. I
enough.
think
Yeah.
she just turned 18, if she even turned 18.
But what
I
I'm saying
believe
is
you're
like
right.
when she started filming
Yeah.
this, because I remember looking up the actors and
Oh,
actresses.
she's like
and
a
I'm
little kid.
oh crap, she's young. Like
Yeah. It was actually, I remember back then people were confused because they went with a child for Raven, but then not for Beast Boy. So, and, 2 full-grown adults for Starfire and Nightwing as well. So it was this weird sort of like inconsistent thing because you just assume that they were going to all be kids if they were doing that, but it wasn't.
Right.
Titans began as a DC Universe original show, went to become on an HBO Max original show, and is also classified as a Netflix original series. I didn't know it was also Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah,
Internationally.
Internationally, it's always been Netflix, and they partnered with DCU for a lot of the funding in season 1 and 2. I assume it's still doing that, but yeah, Netflix did way better promo for the show than DCU ever did. It's actually embarrassing.
Yeah. DCU as a whole, Warner Brothers' entire arm of marketing is trash.
Yeah, something about honestly, like just the Titans trailer was bad, right?
Mhm.
It was very quickly slapped together, like stock sound effects. I feel like it hit all the other shows as well, and just all the promo material they ever had for the streaming service. And then Netflix, when you watch the trailers they made for Titans, it feels like you're just watching like a movie trailer. It's just really good.
I believe it.
1 week before the Titan season 2 finale, DC released a
Ugh.
special trailer teasing that a Titan will fall. They
I remember
spoil-
this.
They spoil who dies 20 seconds later by having a shot from the funeral scene with the whole cast in it, except Wonder Girl. Yeah, I remember that.
I was talking about the marketing team. This
Trash.
felt so strange and outdated. Like just releasing a finale trailer with a Titan will fall. Like what is it? Like the mid 2000s. It was just embarrassing. Like
Oh, it really is. And also,
And
like, the
then,
way
like-
Donna dies is maybe the most embarrassing thing on this whole show. It doesn't make any sense. She gets electrocuted as other characters stand still. Superboy stands next to her with super strength and super speed. He could catch the thing. She catches it. She dies. Doesn't
Yeah.
make any
Yeah.
sense. Not a lick
And
of sense.
I didn't even put that in the thread because it felt like it's kind of what everybody talks about whenever
Yeah.
Titans gets brought up. But yeah, that was just baffling. I remember I woke up early to watch the finale when it came out. I was so excited. And then it's not even just that that's bad, because Nightwing appears and has a really poorly edited fight scene. Just it felt like something went horribly wrong during the finale. I've never heard anything.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I remember there was rumors she was coming back, but then they just scrapped that whole plot line because they even had a thread where like they went off to go get her. You'll probably have it in here somewhere.
She
But
came
anyway.
back.
Yeah, she came back in
She came
the
back, man.
later half of season 3.
Oh,
She's
that's
there.
right. Yeah, because she came back in the middle of the Red Hood.
Hey,
shit.
Ben, because you'll remember this because of Purple Rain.
Yes, that
He's
was
the one
it.
who does that. The cringiest thing that ever put to film. This is so graphic
It's
but
definitely
incredible looking, Ben.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna warning if you're watching this live or whatever. We're gonna hit. I remember this, and I remember it is makeup. Keep that in mind. But
It's kind of awesome makeup. Damn,
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
it's
I
crazy.
forget who was the one that killed him.
Joker.
It was still Joker.
Joker.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they brought Joker in, and that also made no
So
sense.
I had also
Batman
gotten
kills
this
him, so.
wrong, sort of. So I said that they put him in all that makeup just to not have it in the episode, and I realized that they actually, so they don't use the first picture of makeup where he's in the suit when his face is all messed up, but there's a shot in episode 5 when it shows how his body was taken by
Yeah.
Scarecrow, where you see his face without all that blood for like a few seconds.
Yeah, I
But
remember that.
still,
Okay.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, this I remember they did the Joker, and it's just like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, wish they could have actually done the Joker. Would be cool, but it's always Scarecrow.
Over the course of Titan season 2, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Dick Grayson all die and get resurrected. I didn't realize that.
Jesus
Yeah.
syndrome over here. Ugh.
Oh, you thought Jason was enough. Now we're gonna kill all 3 of them.
Yep. Ooh, cast drama. There was
I
some
know.
cast drama going around when season 2 began filming. Nobody knows what actually happens to this day.
I don't even have insight for this. I just,
Really?
literally nobody knows. I mean, so a friend of mine does, but he just never told me. And I just did press for it because like it just seems like
Oh,
a
just
silly
all the
thing.
following and unfollowing.
Connor
Yeah.
and Minka posted quotes about friendship, which started the whole suspicion. Anna unfollowed Connor and Minka. Minka unfollowed Anna, but the other day followed her again. It's not unknown who unfollowed first, but right now Anna still doesn't follow any of them. They weren't liking each other's pics. Oh wow.
Yeah, so it just seems like some really probably trivial thing. They
Yeah.
probably resolved it because they're grown adults. So it's just this funny thing. But yeah, nobody
so
even
random.
knows what happened.
I thought Connor Kent. I realized it's Connor Leslie.
Right.
Titans had 5
my
different
God.
actors portray Krypto the Superdog.
Yeah, these are just good boys and good girls. Look at
Oh
them.
my God.
They're so
So-
pretty.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I can provide a little insight. So I don't know which dog is which in those pictures. No offense, but they kind of all look the same. Like,
Mhm.
they're great dogs. But for season 2, they had 3. It was Ridley, Lacey, and Digby. And I don't remember which had which role, but basically one was their like stunt dog, quote unquote, and then the other was their general dog, and then there was a third dog just because it had a more threatening bark than the other 2 did.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The textures on Dick Grayson and Tim Drake's Robin suits are actually just hundreds of small R symbols. I remember hearing that and like seeing like this
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, that's actually so cool.
They did the Superman Returns thing, but like actually do.
But did it well.
Yep.
Man, Tim does not deserve a suit.
Although
this cool.
weirdly enough,
It doesn't wear it. You're good.
Weirdly enough, it's not on Jason's Robin suit. Like they just didn't do it for that one, but they did it again for Tim.
I'll talk more about this when Neb and I review Titans season 1 episode, season 4 episodes 1 and 2 next week. But if you haven't watched it, Hudson, don't worry. Tim's just on a different show now. Like he's just
Man, don't
doing
worry
his.
about it.
He's not even with the cast anymore.
Yeah, of course. He's busy with his boyfriend.
It's like a separate, like just
Good
like
for
love
him.
story between Tim and Bernard.
Bernard.
Overall, my wife and I just as a funny side note, I was watching it this morning, Neb, because I told you I'm trying to finish it,
Mhm.
and it's airing, and she's like, "So why did they all separate again?" I'm like, "Oh, they didn't separate." She goes, "So what's going on?" I'm like, "Well, they're all in a town right now, and I think Tim and Bernard are just having a love story. I don't know what they're doing, but they're not with the crew."
I had no issue with like having a love story. It just sucks that we didn't have a Tim story first. We don't
did have a
assert
Tim
him-
story, and it's also what irritates me about these first 2 episodes is it's not integrated at all. It's
Yeah.
the most obvious that it feels like it was tacked on, and maybe it'll integrate later, but it's just not integrated as to
Yeah.
what's actually
Yeah.
going on.
So I I want to say this is insight, but again, I have no idea if this is actually correct or not. It just feels like a very like fair assumption, which was that a lot of people complained about how uh, Tim in the show is sort of he's basically implied to be like 16 or 17, and then the actor for Bernard is like much older, visibly.
Yeah.
So people were like, "What are you guys doing?" So they retconned it. So Tim is just actually 18, and then Bernard is just younger than he looks. So it's like, okay, fine, whatever. But it was, I'm pretty sure, basically Jay like Hurdro, who plays Tim, had saw what had been happening with Tim in the comics recently and requested that, hey, maybe we could touch on this a bit. Because I think he's a queer actor as well, so it's just
Yeah.
important to him, and he knows how important it would be for fans. So I think what happened is that Bernard was probably just a like a supporting character in Star Labs as he usually was, and then they might have changed it like very late in the process to make that a thing.
Ugh.
And
Is it because
I can't be sure about that,
Well,
but it
I
makes
just-
sense
Right.
when you think
I
about it.
and like I love the representation because I don't necessarily I think it's great. It doesn't Tim's sexuality has nothing to do with his character, as in like in the as far as like his feats are concerned, him as a Robin. So it's great. It's texture. It's better. It makes him more well-rounded. But this Tim Drake is not smart. He's not a detective.
Right.
He's not smarter, potentially a better detective than Batman. He doesn't even know Batman. There's nothing here that ties him to Tim Drake. Also, I know they went with Black Asian, so I didn't realize, I forgot from last season that he had an Asian mom, but part of it did bug me because he was like the Asian Robin, that he wasn't that in this show, but he is. Yeah.
So yeah, that was also that he's never actually been Asian in the comics, but people just
I was
kind of
gonna
assume that he is.
Really?
Yeah, he's
You
never
know,
been.
yeah.
Oh my God, I'm
People,
wrong.
because of the way the fandom talks about him, it's just sort of assumed that he's Asian and that Jason is Hispanic. But no, they're all white except Damien. It's just sort of a misconception that gets around.
It's
And
funny
then-
that
Oh my
Damien
God,
gets
wow, it's a
whitewashed lot
myth.
too. Although I will say
Yeah.
they've been making active efforts to stop whitewashing Damien in the last like 2 years.
Yeah, which I
Wow.
really appreciate because it's
Total
ridiculous.
oversight on my
Yeah.
end. I've always envisioned him as Ryan Potter, as
Oh
Beast
yeah,
Boy
yeah,
in
just
the
that
show.
as well. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, I don't blame anybody because literally everybody just kind of talks about it like he is. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those funny things.
But
Good to
anyway,
know.
moving on, because we'll talk more about the actual relationship and my opinions on how they're handling it in the show when we
Yeah.
talk about that on Thursday. By the
Yeah.
way, Hudson will be here and Neb is going to join me for a review of the first 2 episodes. So
Bye guys, I'm gone
Also,
forever.
the crossover
Alright, so-
episode should be out by then as well.
it's a crossover episode?
Crossover in quotation marks. But yeah, that would be released on Thursday morning. So
Crossover with whom?
Yeah, who are they crossing
Uh,
over with?
Stargirl and Doom Patrol. There's a funny story behind that actually. Some random dude just made me like he just DM'd me casting sheets and was like, "Hey, can you make this blow up? Because I kind of want to be like a scooper with a bunch of clout." So I did, and it was Brett Bassinger from Stargirl, and then a few Doom Patrol actors were listed for Titans episodes. And then
Wow.
I
Oh, so
posted
they brought it
about
all
it.
back.
Yeah, and it just seemed they kind of wanted to do like a big goodbye to the whole original DC Universe streaming slate sort of thing, which I thought was
Okay.
really cute. But yeah, so I posted about it, and then I think Brett on Instagram, Brett Bassinger was like, "Oh, well, isn't this a surprise?" And then she posted a picture with herself and Ryan Potter in costume. It was really cute.
Oh,
Nice.
that's so great. That's so great.
And I can't elaborate on this, and I won't, but there's more to it than just them. And I just, even if anybody is listening and they've never watched a Titans episode before, you should just watch it anyway. It's very funny. You could not possibly imagine what they do. So yeah,
I'm so
just definitely
excited
check
now.
out that episode at Thursday at just as soon as it starts at midnight. But
I was
yeah.
like, if it's up in the morning, Neb, I can watch it in
Mhm.
time for the episode for us to
Yeah.
film. So,
Awesome.
all right, well, let's move forward here because we still have quite a bit, and we're already 40 minutes into this one. So,
Oh, man.
Oh god.
You said it was short, Neb.
Well, it's definitely like half the size of the Arrowverse one, but
Oh, then we have to break this into 2 pieces.
Yeah, there's no
we
way
broke
we're
the
gonna-
Arrowverse into 3 pieces. We should call
We'll
it at
see.
some point and then double
Did we-
back to this.
I don't even think we finished Arrow. I think you still have to go finish it.
honestly, just because I put the craziest stuff at the start of the thread, I don't think that's necessary anyway, because it sort of runs on fumes by the end.
Okay, well, we'll keep going. So Nightwing's
Yeah.
suit was his iconic finger stripes. You could barely see them in the show's usual lighting. They couldn't holster the Escrima-6 in the back of the suit because they couldn't reach that far with those armor plates, so they kept them behind his waist instead. Okay, that makes sense though.
I kind of liked the wasted Eskrima sticks. I thought they looked cool.
Yeah, I
was a
don't think they're
different take.
bad. It's funny that they have to have him reach behind just because he can't do it the normal way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Nightwing suit is just controversial because he's supposed to be extremely acrobatic, right? And
And
he
it's
just can't
extremely
move.
rigid.
Yeah, he has his best fight scenes in civilian clothes. So it just seems like a
Yeah.
strange miss when every other suit in the show is incredible. But yeah.
Yeah.
The I did not know Chella Man was deaf, but I
Yeah.
remember when she showed up, Oracle Savannah Welch.
Yep.
I actually looked into. I'm like, that looks because they did obviously don't draw attention to her amputee problem. So I was not problem. You know what I mean? Like they didn't draw attention to it. And so I remember Googling it to be like, wait, is she an amputee? Did they get an actual one? And finding out like what happened. I believe it was a horse accident because she
After Titans, she was on The Good Doctor for a whole season, and
cool.
then was rapidly written off into the beginning of the next season in like the strangest, most jarring way, where she was disbarred as a doctor. So crazy stuff.
It's not a good doctor, apparently.
Yeah.
But I remember looking it up when this first happened, though, because at first I'm like, oh, does this mean she might become Batgirl in the suit by the end?
Yeah.
But like in the first episode, they're not hiding it. You can obviously see.
I literally didn't even learn this until I'd watched The Good Doctor. Like, and I looked it up then. I didn't even know.
And about Chella Man, an interesting tidbit is that he's deaf in real life, but the character of Jericho is just mute. He's not deaf. So it was actually an extra challenge to film with him because, like, he's playing a character who can hear, and he's just mute. So and the fact that he did so well is just really incredible because this was his first gig as well.
Yeah,
he did great.
Titan season 2, episode 9. Jericho hugs Dick before leaving the Titans Tower. This was improvised by Chella Man, so Brenton Thwaites' reaction is completely genuine.
Aw, that's adorable.
It's the best moment in the season's improvised. This makes you think.
Man, he's handsome. Love Brenton Thwaites. Love me some Brenton Thwaites.
It's a little distracting.
Yeah. He's got, like, I don't know, posture for Nightwing that would make it
he's just like, he's just so fucking bad.
He's built like a tank. They put him in a polo this season, and it's like, Jesus.
I just got to, I'm halfway through episode 2, so he comes out in the pink polo. Like, that's a good look on him. Season 3 wanted Dead or Alive posters remain for the Titans, replaced all around Gotham sets. For some reason, they put Krypto in these posters.
They want to kill the dog.
Want the dog dead or alive?
Okay.
I like that they know Blackfire's not. Wait, no, Blackfire has their own individual poster as well as in the bigger poster.
In the season 2 finale, the way Superboy gets freed from Cadmus control is pulled directly from Teen Titans Volume 3, number 26. Is it?
Yeah. It's weird. People say that the show isn't comic accurate, and like obviously not, right? But they have very clearly read the comics and will just pull stuff from it all the time, but like in very bizarre ways.
Right.
So I mean, most of the show is basically the 2003 Jeff Johns run. My husband pointed out to me because he just had the issue. That was cute.
All right. Dove's goggles were redesigned into the first season, presumably for comfort reasons. Yeah, this, in my opinion, this is more comic accurate. This looks better in live action.
Yeah.
I respect the audacity of doing the initial goggles. Just adapting their suits at all is crazy. Making them look good.
First episode of season 3 features Carrie Kelly, Daxon Chill, Stephanie Brown, Duke Thomas as cameos on the Bat computer. Absolutely no clue who these actors or models are. I feel like they went to stockphoto.com.
Yes, that is possible. It's just that a couple of them are like headshots, so it could have just been like IMDb profiles as well. But and these are just cute little Easter eggs that flash by really quickly. But it's definitely like, I mean, I guess that's cool.
Blonde girl in karate outfit. Google.
Right, like they really were struggling to find a blonde girl, I think, because like that's not really a Stephanie thing, from what I understand.
No. The Chinese company Soso Toys has made several extremely high-quality Titans figures on top of many other characters from various DC and Marvel projects. They skirt around permission and trademarks by literally just changing the names on the box. My half-naked Nier statue that I didn't realize was fully half-naked in the back here that occasionally you can see depending on where you zoom into, that is also skirted by copyright by calling it Female Android Fighter.
These figures look crazy. Like, actually,
they are so good. We saw some at WonderCon and they were just too expensive, but it's ridiculous. Like, you can just use the symbols.
Detective Vigilante.
Yeah, you can probably just write Robin on the suit and it would still be fine. Somehow, as long as you just change the name on the box. It's so silly.
Night Vigilante.
Wow.
And this
I want
company,
that.
they do ones
Red
for the
Knight.
boys as well. All the Marvel and Netflix shows, just tons of high quality stuff like this. And they were the only ones doing Titans figures.
The
They don't
Boy
even.
of Steel.
They didn't even get any figures in the DC multiverse set by McFarlane. Like it's literally just this one company.
I like
Wow.
this. That's obviously the S. Like pre-order only. We can't show you any. We
Right.
can't show...
Yeah.
Wow.
The little Krypto is insane.
He's cute.
After season 2 episode that ended with Jason Todd falling off a building, DC Universe held a poll to see if Jason should live or die, a reference to the infamous and probably rigged or cheated the fan poll in the 80s, which was what killed Jason in the comics originally.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, they actually did this twice because they tease that he'll die in this episode as an obvious joke to that, but then he just actually dies in season 3. So if I'm not mistaken, it was like, oops, we already did this.
In 7th episode of Titan season 2, a hallucination of Bruce Wayne, played by Ian Glenn, does a bat whatever dance as a tribute to Adam West Batman. I did not like him as Batman at all.
I don't think
he
anybody
was.
did.
Yeah, I think he was just supposed to be like an Adam West style, like Batman,
Yeah.
and he was that. So
And I appreciated that. And people were like, "Oh, he doesn't act anything like Batman, and he's disturbed and just treating kids in a weird way." And it's just, I mean, yeah, there's just the take the show is going for. Just Jeff Johns doesn't like Batman very much. I think it is what it is.
For season 2, Titans cast. Oh, geez, Esai Morales as the villain Deathstroke. On a podcast, he explained that while filming the flashback scene of Slade being experimented on, he went method and requested he get injected by a real needle. Google Esai Morales injections to learn more.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah. Esai Morales is incredible in the role. His voice is so. He's like, I'm Slade Wilson. He's like menacing. He's got the tone down perfectly.
The joke about that tweet was just that he's anti-vax, but then I remember because he's just one of those people who post the craziest stuff on Facebook, right? And it was just kind of uncomfortable because his son is played by a trans actor in the show, and he had posted one meme about like the government making people trans with injections and fraud or something. It was just like, I think it's good. He was only in one season.
Oh, that's
actually.
so funny.
Season 2, despite making a big deal about not killing anyone, Dick blows up an entire building full of Trigon cultists. He does. Season 4 finally addresses this by having Bald Superboy call him out. I like that you specified Bald Superboy.
I'm not a fan of Bald Superboy. It's a lot for me.
It's crazy. He was only bald for like one issue in the comics, and he's bald this entire season, it feels like.
Yeah.
He still is right now, unless he grew hair back at the end of episode 2.
Yep.
Season 2 introduces Aqualad as a character in flashback who gets assassinated by Deathstroke. Aquaman presumably never seeks vengeance against him. Later on, Wonder Girl is electrocuted and Wonder Woman isn't seen at her funeral.
Classic, mentors.
It's just one of those comic things, just adaptations. You can't have everybody that would reasonably be there. It is funny though. Like, they just don't care at all.
Not even like Wonder Woman sends her condolences.
Nope.
Season 3, episode 9, Rachel returns to save her friends, teleporting with this cool little raven animation.
Yeah, so I screen recorded this with OBS directly from HBO Max, and the funny thing is everybody in the quotes like, dude, I can't see this, like the lighting on this show. I can't see what you're talking about.
Wow.
It is a lot darker than I think it should be.
Yeah, and I've heard that most people use Twitter on like phones mainly, so you genuinely just can't. You have to turn the brightness all the way up.
Yeah. In the 4th and final season of Titans, the main characters all finally have their actual superhero costumes. In theory.
In theory.
Oh.
More or less.
Yeah.
Okay, she is in heels because she's definitely walking like she's in heels, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's an incredibly bizarre oversight that they just didn't get actual like well-crafted boots for her to wear or just heels. They just
the way she's walking, I'm like, is she at a prom or something? Like,
yeah, it's really weird because like people made fun of the dress too, but it is very intricate at least. You could tell like a lot of thought went into it. But then the boots were like, oh, we forgot. Let's just get her something.
I obviously haven't seen him yet because he's not back at the moment. I didn't know he's got feet. Did you see these?
Yeah,
he's got the toe boots.
Both him and Aqualad have toe shoes for their suits, which like, I mean, I get it, but that's insane. there's no actual promo images of Aqualad, so you just gotta you really gotta
So
look for that.
And I would tell you right now, I'm not going to look up Aqualad feet.
Nope. I don't recommend it
You'll
personally.
find a lot from Young Justice Calderon.
All right.
Actually,
Is that where it kind of peters off, or we got a lot more good?
Yeah,
Actually,
then there's
no,
this-
I highly suggest this one.
This one? Okay. Before
Oh, man.
Titans season 2 began airing, a woman named Sarah Benani lied about being cast as Tara and said that she'd also appeared in Swamp Thing. She seems to have written her own IMDb and MCU wiki pages, claiming to have also been in Shazam and Ant-Man and the Wasp, among other things. What?
This one woman was just on a quest. I don't understand what her end goal was. She just lied about being Tara and went so far deep into it. She wrote her own wiki pages and has an IMDb page where it still says, if you go to it now, it says that she was in Titans. It just hasn't been updated. And yet, if you search that name on Twitter, it's all a bunch of accounts talking about how she's going to be Tara and this or that. It's
What?
just this random person. I just can't believe it. Like they
Like no
the
acting
audacity.
history, nothing like that.
Literally, yeah, nothing. She just lied about being an extra in Shazam and Ant-Man. So her wiki page said something like she's one of the few actors to be in both universes, or one of the first, or something. Like, I mean,
that's so crazy.
I get it. I guess good for her.
Okay, I just read that with a brief. The Robin alleyway fight is supposed to be at night, but you can see the bright blue sky in the background of some shots. They were filming up until sunrise, where the final shot just happened to be the best ones.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
They just
Man.
barely gotten the good takes on time. This, if you look back on this fight, like you can tell a lot of thought went into it compared to the others in the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Titans
my
was
God.
Alan Ritchson's second DC. What?
Second
DC superhero role as he played Aquaman in Smallville. He also called the show better than most superhero movies as it had real stakes, which unfortunately ages funnier with every episode.
That's
look
his,
at that
that's his
Aquaman
that's his
suit.
Aquaman suit.
So good. I had just watched him explain how he kind of got robbed out of the Aquaman show that they were going to make in the test pilot, where the main head guy at the CW at the time was like, we can't use this guy even though he's doing a good job in Smallville because he's been here for like 2 weeks. So they just had Justin Hartley do it instead, even though he
Yeah.
was already Green Arrow. It didn't work out
Yeah.
anymore.
That was crazy.
Season 3, Gotham eventually quarantined by the National Guard with no internet or phone lines available, despite the Scarecrow somehow was able to order himself a pizza. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
So I had explained earlier how this show sort of has unusually like unique issues compared to other shows, where it feels like nobody on the crew ever talks to each other, and there's no consistency, and every script is like the first draft, where there's tons of logical issues like that just make no sense and are extremely blatant and would have been caught by like I think just any crew with more experience maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, stuff like that just slips through all the time. It just feels very trademarked for this show.
Who's your favorite character of the show apart from Grayson? Toss it between Jason Todd and Deathstroke. Slade is one of my favorite villains of all time, and Esai killed it. If you don't love Red Hood, you should kill yourself. Curran is an incredible actor, one of the best on the show. Okay. You didn't comment this, but look at his handle. Hassan, what is that?
Dick Grayson, man. It is what it is. It is
He
what it
knows.
is. That's crazy. So that was Dick Grayson's stunt double who said that?
Yeah, he did an AMA on the subreddit, and literally for no reason at all, he was just like, "Yeah, if you don't love Red Hood, you should kill yourself." Like,
That's crazy, man.
so unhinged.
As
Love
a
him.
Netflix's Titan Season 1 promotion, a statue of Dick Grayson is erected in Mexico. What?
A statue of Dick was put up in Mexico.
They promoted it better.
Like I said, Netflix was doing everything. I think they just had more money. They must have been.
Yeah, I remember this. Ryan Potter initially campaigned to play Tim Drake in the DCEU as Ben Affleck's Robin, which is what helped him land the role as Beast Boy. This is jokingly referenced multiple times in episodes and was brought full circle with him now being in scenes with Tim Drake.
They make multiple jokes with it, and it's just really funny now. He just does scenes with the actual Tim Drake. It's like,
Yep.
poor guy should have been him in the first place, but you know, it's pretty good.
Any other crazy stuff out here? Because we're about an hour. So
Yeah, no, I think we could wrap it up for sure.
okay. Oh wait, what's this? I always like Ravager. They didn't do much with her.
They didn't do anything with her.
Yeah,
was
they
only
wrote
ever
her
single-
out.
Single promo image released for Rose Wilson wearing the Ravager suit. She was just off to the side amongst the 50 other characters. She was also in costume in the Binge Now promo trailer, a literal half second if you pause fast enough.
Yep. you can sort of see the problems with the show in that promo. Where do you even start with the whole cast? Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's a dog in there. Like there's too much.
I
There's
like
too
the
much going
dog
on.
got more spotlight than Rose did. She's just like, I'm here too.
Yeah. Because when season 2 was airing, they filmed a ton of or they had a massive promo shoot that they used for posters and everything, just with all the cast different poses in costume and all that. But just none of Rose were ever used in costume. Outside of it, yeah. But
She was so
yeah,
wasted.
yeah. And she's so
But
cool in the comics too.
yeah,
Just the moment where she takes out her eye, especially, is something that I really remember as being just crazy. And then in the show, Slade just tells her like, "Yeah, we got to take out your eye," and it's like, "Oh, okay, like, all right."
Yikes.
the Haley Circus was made up in Brazil.
Yep,
Yeah.
Netflix did that too. For some reason, this DCU didn't have any money, and Netflix was they were tearing internationally anyway.
And they brought the dog to Comic-Con. I don't remember this.
Yeah, it was. I can't find a video of this anymore, and I remember it, but at New York Comic Con, that's always where Titans is instead of San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah, I was there.
They just brought out the
I don't remember
the dog at the DCU press event. So yeah, it was hard to find images of this because it's just I just like nobody really was there, but that's so adorable. I believe
I don't remember even being told about this, so yeah, nobody went. I don't think. Normally when things like that happen, I could be like, "Oh, I had an email that I missed, and I didn't go
Right.
to the event." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all right. Well,
was,
we're gonna wrap up
Wrigley.
the episode right here. Sorry, Deb, what you want to say?
Yeah, I was just saying that was Ridley, the dog for that. It was the general dog, I believe, that they used for season 2, and they were doing an Instagram takeover with him at the time. So I hope he's doing well.
And you had the toe shoes right here.
Oh,
Yep.
yikes. No. Hate that.
Just awful. Just
It looks like a
Unforgivable.
Paw Patrol hero. I hate it. It's
All right,
awful.
guys. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. That is our rundown of Neb's good takes on the Twitter thread. We actually got Neb to be on here for this one. And if you hadn't seen it and you want to follow Neb, the Twitter's been on the screen this whole time.
Be crazy if you missed it.
Yep. And you can follow my husband too at croc_Bach. And yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. There, I'll put you full screen. That way people know to look for the Margot Robbie breakdown face.
Yep.
Thanks,
Oh,
Neb.
you follow me. That would have been awkward right there. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you next time right here at Absolutely.